Hey, everybody. Hello. Wow. We've got the chat full tonight already. Well, good evening. We've got Dave. Check on this thing on. Oh, I like that. Oh, you're so sweet. Patty, hello. Howie, hello. How are you doing? You're so right. Matt and Sarah, hello. And you guys, thanks for coming in. It's very, very sweet of you. We were at 6, and now it's down to, it's like the numbers jump all over the place. They really do. So, how is everybody tonight? I have a story for everybody later on. Hey, Alicia. Parker, hello. You did? I did not see any, but I saw Eliza put something up on Instagram about she's up closer to Duluth, and they were getting snow up there. But I didn't see anything out here. It got cloudy. It got plenty dark, and it was cold enough. Yeah, we're. You know what, Dave? I had a note to ask you about him tonight. How is he doing? Obviously, it doesn't sound like he's doing very well. Hey, Debbie. Hello. He's not going to. Oh, I am so sorry. It's too young to be going. Oh, there you are, Eliza. Hello. Yeah, I saw your cute little head just covered with flakes there. It was so cute. Deb, hello. Yeah, it's a season, but by next week we're supposed to be back up in the 50s. So it's just making that transition right now. It's kind of crazy. It is just crazy. I actually this weekend worked another puzzle. It's right underneath you. It's all done. Let me see if I can get it. It was a little bit more detailed. Oops, there you go. And but it was fun. It was fun to do it, but yeah, not quite as. Some of them were not as distinctive in color, because it's like all woodland and stuff like that. But well, Howie, what are you cooking? Your first frost and the second to first start tomorrow night. I've been getting frosts for every night for at least a week. So anyway, yeah. But I have not seen any snow. It doesn't mean it hadn't flaked a little bit out there or anything, but I hadn't seen anything yet. Well, then maybe I did get something, Eliza. Hey, Julie, hello. Squash soup and chanterelles. Oof, that sounds amazing. Sounds amazing there. So now, do you go out and hunt for your own chanterelles, or do you grow them? Or how do you get yours, Howie? You have a po with rice, noodles, and a side of cottage cheese. I hear you, Patty. So you got somebody to come in and do like a, what was it? Kind of an auction type of thing, was it, for your house? I don't remember what you had said last week, but you can't grow. Oh, you foraged them. Okay. Hey, Sunflower Mom, welcome to you. Yeah. Michigan Daffodil, hello. Aw, so good to see everybody. I miss y'all. Sometimes it's hard to, just kind of like do another live, because as you can see on the title, I've done 126 of these. So sometimes it's just like that motivation to do it, but being able to just visit with you guys and who I call friends now. You've been hanging with me for a long time, and I so appreciate you guys and just being here, having that in an estate sale. Okay. Yes, Patty, that's what I was talking about. I couldn't remember what it was definitely called. So, Southern Ohio, hello. How are you, Dave? We are the OG crowd. Yes, you are. You are the OG crowd. Absolutely. Well, yes, it's getting colder here today. I think our high was 30, and that's why everybody's talking about snow. Um, the little pockets of clouds that produced some flurries were kind of scattered around. It wasn't like one big system that came through or anything, but definitely cold. Oh, okay. Right now it's saying 37. What's the low tonight? It's 25 or 26, somewhere around there. So, but yeah, by Friday, 54, Saturday, 57. So getting back up there. Caitlin, hello. How are you? 10 more thumbs up. Yay. Teresa, hi. How are you doing? Vani, hello. You got some snowdrops? Okay. Oh, I like that. Yeah, the little snowballs. If you haven't seen that, that's kind of fun. Oh, Deb, you are so sweet. You always say the nicest things. Thank you. I still, with that warm weather, I still have to get my garlic in the garden. And I know it's terrible, but being gone most of the month of October was really hard. And I needed it, but at the same time, it was so hard to be gone with so much to do in winter prep and everything. But anyway, so there's just a lot of things I'm way behind on. And I just have to really work at not stressing to get caught up, because then that defeats the purpose of my vacation, right? So anyway, where are we here? Gotta beat the frost. Yes, I know. Luckily, we're going to have like at least a full week of, above freezing temperatures, 50s during the day, 40s at night. So I'm hoping that if I can get that in, probably Wednesday or Thursday, I'll get them in the ground and cover them up, and let's see if I can get things warmed up. Connie, hello, hugs to you. You got your sewer pump today. Ooh, yeah. Everything is going up so expensively. It definitely is. That's tough. So my tasks at this point, other than planting garlic for the garden, is to finish cleaning it out, getting it prepped for winter, and then loading things into my shed. And I don't have to load stuff into the basement this year. Oh, that's gonna be so great. So anyway, that's kind of, it was a little chilly out there today to be working outside, so I was doing indoor stuff today. But anyway, yeah, I start to get outside and get things done, and I have a whole lot of work that needs to be done. So yeah, go shed, absolutely. That's right. My shed is doing great right now. I just have some things kind of just tossed in there, but that's something I can organize even after the snow flies, get in there. But I would like to, the hose racks that you can buy to put on the side of your house that are rounded and everything, they're not very expensive. They're just a metal rack. I want to put a couple of those inside the shed so that the hoses have a nice round contour to be stored on. And I'm just going to attach those to the inside of the shed up high so I can store them like that. And so kind of get that kind of stuff done. And as far as like shelves and everything that I'm going to have. I need to take my time because once I install those, they're kind of there, not like just furniture where you can just like move it around and figure out what to do later. But you're moving things around in your garden, lots of work. It is lots of work. So, aw. Um, so Eliza, you're hoping to get a few Christmas sessions in on Saturday. Oh, nice. Very, very good. That's the beauty about photography. You can kind of take it with you wherever you go. So I'm so glad that you guys are thriving up there. That's so wonderful. Patty, you started loading the moving container last Friday. Your packing it is a lot. I hope you have some people helping you out with that. Um, and I totally hear you. Parker, yes, I have seen strange things that have been empty on the shelves. Like um, just kind of walking up and down the aisles. I mean, like plenty of toilet paper, plenty of chips and sodas and canned goods and stuff. But what I've seen are um, like specialty crackers. Now it's been a week or so since I've been in there, so maybe things have changed. But some of the things that you look at and you're going, why is that all empty there? But I think if you think about how they are, we've got to go back to like the supply and the manufacturing. And if specialty items are having a more difficult time being produced, that's what's going to go first, probably. So, you have a whole lot of bins and boxes to go through. Yeah. Oh, Patty does. You thought was all done. Hey, Virginia. Hello. How are you? Thrifty VG. Soda crackers are missing there. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting the things that are they're starting to empty out. Mostly just high prices. Yep. I know it was like I came home with like 3 grocery bags and it was like $120. I'm like, what? It was outrageous. Oh, it used to be, I don't know about you guys, but I can remember the days of being able to spend $10, $12 on a bag of groceries. And that is just, for you youngins, that's, and 49 cents a gallon of gas was like expensive. You were able to get another brand just to have on hand. Yeah. Oh, goodness sakes. So I am going to go ahead and are the links showing below the video? I had put them in kind of afterwards, so I didn't know if they're showing up or not. But those are the links that I got for the information that I'll be sharing with you guys. But yes, Patty, definitely those days are gone for good. I know, $50, and there's like, what do you get for the $50? It's like cashing a cart full is $50. Yep. Okay, good. Oh, wonderful. We're trying to be prepared in case it is a sudden thing. Yes, absolutely. And you know what? I'm gonna since we're kind of on that, Julie, you can shoot one up once in a while. That would be great. Or you and Matt. That's totally fine. $1.49 a liter. So that would be probably equivalent to about $6 a gallon, right? Something like that. Yeah, it's I know we're a little behind California. From what I understand, is very, very, very high. $7 a gallon, something like that. We're still about 310 to 320 here. Um, so anyway, my prep tip for tonight was to make a list. A spreadsheet is really good if possible because then it's doing like all the calculations for you. But if you can't, just write it out. But make a list of what you shop for in your household, like food, all your paper goods, meds, the different things that you typically shop for, not extras, but just what you normally have. If you get chicken or hamburger or eggs or milk, different things like that. Just make a list of that and then determine how much you would need for 3 months. I know a lot of people only have like a week's worth of food on hand or something, but and if 3 months, if that's way too much for you, then try to figure out how much you would use in a month and see if you have that on hand. Let's say you go through 10 cans of soup in a month for your family. Do you have 10 cans of soup on your shelf? If you do, great. See if you can increase that to a month and a half or 2 months or something like that. As the prices are just going to continue going up, and I know it's hard to start getting things stored away for that, but just try to see if you can get at least 3 months worth of supplies to have on hand. If you're already there and you already have 3 months, try to increase it to 4 months or 6 months. Just continue trying to put that away if you can. I mean, talking about toilet paper and Kleenex and just, anything that you would need to have that in case we know from last year how sudden it was when all of a sudden you go to the store, there's nothing on the shelf. And supply chains are going to probably be similar, give us a similar result at some point. So okay, so we're all on gas prices here. Yeah. So Teresa, yeah, you're about the same as me here. You're thinking of buying an electric indoor tower for growing greens all year round. Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah, Dave, it's, and obviously our income doesn't go up that high, that quickly, right? So the food your husband eats most is hard to stock. Oh, okay. Michigan Daffodil, do you can at all or anything like that? So well, thank you guys. So anyway, just work at if you can. And I know with the prices going up, it's going to be harder to. You're not going to get as much as you used to be able to get, but just look. I'm looking at the basics. I'm not saying, oh, okay, we bought 3 or 4 cans of artichokes. It's like, are artichokes really that important to have? Or artichoke hearts. It's like that's for a specialty type of thing. I'm talking about your basic type of things that you would need. So, oh yeah, feed for animals and meat. Yeah. Right. I hear you, Dave. I hear you. So anyway, but just get it down in writing. Don't just like kind of think about it or something, but work it out and see what you have and what you need and what can you do to help with that. And it's just kind of it's a really good thing to be able to try to do. So he will eat what I have if we're hungry. Michigan Daffodil, that is so true. Absolutely. It's like might get to that point where you just have to eat what we've got. For growing dandelions in our yard, that's what's going to be on the table. Oh, yes, Debbie, that's true. Food allergies does make it really hard. I hear you. Um, all right. It has been a while since I've done the tree bark. Left off, I think it was in August sometime. So we've done 2 parts. So this is the 3rd part. Just going to kind of review a little bit that there are different parts of the trees that you can use, obviously. You can use the buds, you can use, some trees, you can use the leaves, like a pine tree, the needles, the different things like that. We're kind of focusing on the bark and how to use it for medicinals or food or something like that. Yes, everybody, that's great. Thank you so much. Yes, we got to pray for Patty's housing and what she can do. So, and then when you do take the bark off, do not take a strip from around the perimeter of the bark of the tree, because that will kill your tree. So take a small strip off in one spot and a small strip off in another, and then see if you can go to another tree and get what you need, but so that the tree has a chance to heal over in that spot and you're not taking a lot of bark off of that. There have been a lot of uses of bark over the years for baskets, for fire starter, for canoes, for different things like that. And the ones that we have talked about so far are alder, apple, ash, avocado, balsam, beech, black cherry, birch, cedar, and elder. Oh, and elm. We talked about elm. So, anyway, we're going to pick up with talking about hawthorn. For those of you who are familiar with supplements and things like that, Hawthorne berries are really good, especially if you can add them to a mix of dried things and make a tea with that. But anyway, the hawthorn is a small, broad, round, dense tree with thorns, and it produces little red fruits, and those are edible. And oh, Dave, you have such a great piece of land. You have such diverse there, diverse things. It's like amazing, and you found a good spot there. Absolutely. The fall berries, and so right now, fall, the hawthorns are the berries should be dried and ready to go. And the new spring leaves and the flowers can make a cardiac tonic that benefits virtually all heart conditions. So that I knew from years, over about 30 years ago. I knew this elderly lady who had put hawthorn berries in her blend for her tea, and she said, yeah, it's really good for the heart. So it's like, oh, okay, that's awesome. And so but I didn't know that other parts of the hawthorn tree were really good for that too. So we've got berries from that in the fall, the new leaves in the spring, not the full-blown leaves for the summer, but the new little ones in the spring. And then any flowers on that before it forms into the berries. Those are really good. However, do not use it as a prolonged type of thing, because it can cause your blood pressure to drop. So maybe if you have high blood pressure, that's something you can put in there and everything. So yes, it does make a lovely addition to holiday wreaths. Absolutely. So makes a good fire barrier since it won't burn as fast as other shrubs and trees. Oh, very interesting. Oh, Dave, that's so great. I'm glad you have some heat. It's definitely time that you need that. Absolutely. Alicia, I wouldn't be able to give you an answer right at this point in time. I don't know. And Tinker's wife, I don't know if you would be able to answer that for Alicia or not, or even Teresa. Mountain Grandma, hello. Yeah, so you wouldn't want to use hawthorn definitely on that. So, But they say use it for a few weeks and then take a week off to prevent the decrease in blood pressure. So it's not like prolonged use. They're not talking about like 4 or 5 days. They're talking about weeks, and or months, that type of thing. Use caution when combining this herb with other heart meds to prevent a sudden drop in blood pressure. So if you're already on blood pressure medicine, you wouldn't want to do that. This would be for a situation when you can't get your heart meds anymore. So it'd be something to look at. Oh, thanks, Patty. Oh, Mountain Grandma. Well, let's hope it does. Yeah, well, hopefully it does. I don't know, Dave, you've got a lot of trees, hawthorn trees. I don't know if you have any suggestions for her on how they grow, if they need lots of water or not. I'm not sure. Use hawthorn tincture daily, and you have for years. Okay, awesome. And I love making tinctures out of things. You guys know that because they last so long. They're so shelf stable, and they're easy to use. They're easy to make, and they're just so. They're probably the least expensive thing that you can make, from my experience anyway. Hey, Grammy Karen, hi. It's supposed to improve the health of your heart and circulatory system. Oh, okay, very good. It says for maximum benefit, eat fresh raw garlic as you undergo a hawthorn regimen. The spelling on this is regime. I was like, that's not right. Regimen. Okay, I forgot an N. Okay, Debbie, well, take care. Oh, you're welcome. All right. Then we have a hazel tree, or hazelnut, they call it too. Is it okay? A hazel tree is a small tree with small rounded nuts that grow 2 to 4 in a cluster. So if everybody knows what a hazelnut looks like, that's what we make like a hazelnut spread, which is like Nutella. That kind of thing is made out of hazelnuts and chocolate. But yes, hazelnuts. So, for all the other things you have there, Dave, I bet you could grow that well. Hazel twigs are traditionally used by, okay, never mind. Hazelnuts, there we go, are said to benefit the kidneys. So here we go for kidneys. Indigenous people use hazel in many traditional uses. Huron herbalists, which is like Huron, so it'd be up near the Lake Huron, that type of area. Oh, thank you, Teresa. That's so great. But herbalists that they use the bark in poultices for tumors and ulcers. So you've got helping with the kidneys, tumors and ulcers. The Iroquois mixed the nut oil with bear grease to make mosquito repellent. There you go. And Dave, you just need to grow the trees and then capture a bear on your property. Oh, you know what? We dismiss nut trees very easily and think that they're not an important tree to use, but there's a lot of benefit in nut trees. So, but okay, so mixing the nut oil with bear grease to make mosquito repellent. Although I think anything mixed with bear grease would probably be a mosquito repellent. I don't know if I'd want to smear bear grease on me, but there you go. That I don't know, Mountain Grandma. It doesn't, let me keep reading here. In the Chippewa, use a decoction of hazel root, white oak root, chokecherry bark, and the heartwood of ironwood for bleeding from the lungs. Ooh, I would think that would be like tuberculosis type of thing. So hazel root, white oak root, choke cherry bark, the heartwood of ironwood. So the Chippewa, definitely northern tribes and everything. Traditionally, bark from the hazel tree can be used in a poultice for ulcers. If you're suffering from sores on your feet and having difficulty walking on a hike, try mashing up some bark from a hazel tree and apply it to the sores. It will help reduce them. There you go. Sores, probably blisters and everything too. I'm not sure. Um, Hazelnuts are the same as Filberts. Oregon, where I live, is one of the world's biggest producers of hazelnuts. Nice. Oh, Julie, you were talking about probably the bear grease, right? Sounds delightful. Do I know anything about the Eastern Filbert blight? Um, no, I don't. Go ahead. Because we just talked about hazelnut, it didn't cross-reference it to the filberts or anything. And Mountain Grandma, I'm not sure. Probably would have to Google. I would have to Google that and maybe do some research on that and just find out like what is the source of witch hazel. And I don't want to go off on my on my live right now and do that, but if you did that, just did a search on that, that would be something. So I'm not sure if that comes from the tree, the hazel tree, or if it comes from some other plant. And I wouldn't want to steer you wrong. So, yeah, Michigan Daffodil, I hear you. I hear you. All right. While use CBD for pain, mostly topical, oral. Occasionally, there's no intoxication of any sort. Yeah. Yeah, if it's topical and everything, you would probably definitely Hazel is a witch me. Very good, Dave. That's very good reasoning. Very good reasoning. I know that like even a liquid CBD, you need to get like a doctor's order for it and everything like that. So that would be there. All right. So okay, there we go. Patty's got her stuff up. Eastern Filbert blight is a disease that shows up in tree bark as black fissures. It will kill the trees and shrubs. You'll get a link with that on info. Be sure to buy plants that are resistant. Okay, thank you, Patty. Absolutely. Thank you for that. So Dave, if you're going to be wanting to plant some hazel trees, some hazelnut trees, that would be good to know, to be able to identify when you go to a nursery or something, to make sure that you're getting good and healthy trees. I know, right, Michigan Daffodil? Yep, absolutely. Okay. Holly. So mountain holly is a small tree with oval, fine sawtooth leaves and large orange berries. And again, another Christmas thing coming up. So we had hawthorn for helping to make wreaths, and now we have holly. That is a great decor for Christmas, but there is more to the holly than what we know. So the buds were twigs that were used by native peoples, herbalists in decoctions and as an external wash for ulcers, herpetic eruptions, which means like herpes type thing, jaundice, fever, and diarrhea. So the buds. So the leaves alone were used as a beverage tea. English holly of European holly is a familiar evergreen, usually seen as decoration at Christmas. It has spiny, elliptical leaves and shiny red berries. The leaves can be used as a tea substitute and infusions for coughs, colds, and flu. How convenient that it's available at Christmas when we're dealing with coughs, colds, and flus, right? Um, so I love that. Get some holly leaves and have make sure that you're getting stuff that is like, either that you grow or that is organic, because if it's been sprayed, that would not be good for you. You want to make sure that um, you're doing the. Dave, you just set up for these. Okay. Um, Beware that the berries of all holly varieties are strongly purgative, which means that it will cause you to throw up a lot and other stuff. So do be careful with that. All right. I'm so glad that you guys have each other here to, that's one thing I love about this community, because we have so many um, sources of information here and all of you have learned, one thing or another and experienced all kinds of other things, and that you can get on and share this with each other. I think it's just fantastic. We don't want to be the ones to be like, oh, I'm the only source you can go to, or type of thing. But hey, Gil, no worries. No worries. Hello. Welcome. You have a new avatar there. And I heard there was some bad news in Idaho today. I'm so sorry. We'll be praying for all those people. Um, you have a form of holly berries out front. The bushes look like pine with red berries. That you'd have to identify. And it wouldn't be because the holly have solid leaves rather than a pine thing. So, witch hazel is from witch hazel trees. Oh, okay. Thank you, Patty, my other research person. Oh, you're so good. Okay, jacaranda root. Jacaranda root. So a jacaranda tree, you trim the bark from the roots and you soak the bark for 10 to 12 hours in enough water that covers it and everything. Then you throw the bark away and you use this to rinse your mouth for any like canker sores, any thing like that. And you can gargle several times a day with it for sore throats. So that's kind of a neat thing. I don't have jacaranda here in Minnesota, so I'm not sure what zone that they grow in, but it sounds to me it's a little bit more probably of a tropical tree. I'm not sure. It just sounds tropical. Hollyweed is what we call them out here. They are planted by birds. Aha! There you go. Conifer shrub with red berries. So, planted by birds. So, okay. Story time. I think I'm past most of the trauma from this, but anyway, last week, we had our live and 6 to 7 here, and towards the end, I gotten a call from my older brother, and so I called him back after we were done, and he just wanted to pass on something to me. He had just gone to a wake for an elderly family friend of ours, and she had been a really good friend of my mom's, and she had, passed away. So anyway, he was telling me that the last 2 weeks of her life, all she wanted to do was to listen to my CD, and she played it all the time. and it just ministered to her, and it was she just loved it, and it was so beautiful, and it was the one that's in church hymns and different things. So it was just beautiful, and it ministered to her so well, and it was just like, oh, thank you. It was just like it's something that I did long ago still can have an effect on people. So anyway, I got off the phone, and I was carrying. I picked up my laptop and everything. Was going back into the living room with it, and I kind of looked down on the rug, and I was like, I didn't remember losing a piece of rope or anything like that on there, and it was just like I looked again. And it was like there was a snake on my living room floor in my living room. I was just like, oh! And you guys know, how I feel about snakes. I was just freaking out. It was just like, oh my gosh. And so those always show up when I'm in spiritual warfare and different things going on. So anyway, yeah, I had to deal with a snake. Needless to say, after, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, there was, I had to clean up the carnage off my hardwood floor. It was traumatic. It was very traumatic. I was like, no, nothing to laugh about, you guys. Oh, although I know. Thanks, Matt. Thanks. Yeah, I know you were laughing last week, and I got into Freedom Homestead, and I was like, I just had to kill a snake in my living room. I have no idea how it got in there. I have no idea. I've been here 26 years. I've never had a snake in my house that I am aware of. And I was just like, oh man. So anyway, it was not good. It was not good. Oh, thank you, Virginia. Thank you. Oh yes, there's nothing to laugh about. Jacaranda is a subtropical tree, won't grow up north. Okay, that's what I kind of figured. Okay, well, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Good thing I didn't know shotgun. I would have had all kinds of holes in my floor. Like, so what I did was I took one of my seed boxes, the plastic ones with all the, and I threw it to land on top of the snake. And it was about 2.5 to 3 feet long. So that's about how long, not 3, 2 to 2.5 feet long. So it was a little smaller, but it was just a garter snake. But I'm like, yeah. So I threw this case on top of it, and thinking that it would just just keep it there. Not realizing that, okay, the case, it bounced. It landed, boom, it kind of went into pieces, and enough to scare the snake under or something. I was just like, oh, I just like, yeah, it's been a week of traumatic things coming off of my my vacation time and my yeah. Yeah, it is big enough. It's definitely big enough. So yeah, Deb, you'll have to Google it. There was a shooting at a mall in Boise. So that's just wanted to make sure that we just got to pray for those people. Always exciting, yes. And I know that the people their things are bats, spiders, and it's like, yeah, snakes. Oh, yes, Patty, that's what I've used it for too, is kind of an astringent. It can be, like, I don't have the medicinal things in front of me, but it is something that can help. It's not as good as alcohol, but it can help clean areas and different things like that. But yeah, an astringent cosmetically. So anyway, that was my excitement last week. I don't want to repeat that. ever again. So, Albany Mountain Homestead, welcome to you. Yeah, well, I was trying to knock it out, but it was between me and my front door, and so I had to. It was not good, not good at all. So anyway, back to the bark. We have Lyndon and Basswood. They're very closely related. So, oh, Patty, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was at a mall. Ew, yeah, I just don't do them. Yes, I got my shovel, which was and I beheaded it. Yes, I know. So, okay. The linden tree is a large tree found in moist, rich soils near other hardwoods. It has a heart-shaped leaf with toothed margins. It's a heart-shaped leaf. Okay, that's interesting. The bark is dark gray, and its fruit is nut-like, downy, and pea-size. Okay. So nut-like, downy, pea-size. It has clusters of yellowish-white fragrant flowers in the spring. Basswood or American linden is a close relative. So linden or American linden. So, oh, that's so nice. Patty, you must have a lot around in your area or something. So Linden Flower Tea is a popular beverage in Europe for nervous headaches and upset digestion, hysteria, nervous vomiting, and heart palpitations. So really a lot to do with the nerves there. Linden flower tea can also be added to baths to calm the nerves. Take a bath, a linden flower tea bath. Linden flower honey is prized for medicinal use. Ooh. Other day, grow some linden trees and you can have your honey there. Patty, you are on top of it. Thank you so much. So Native American herbalists use the roots and the bark of the basswood for burns and the flower tea for epilepsy, headache, spasmodic cough, and general pain. The buds were eaten as famine food, and the bark was pounded and added to soups. Wow, okay. So here we go. Famine food. That would be a good, well, there's just so many things. That would be a huge topic to do in one night. But that'd be something, good to research on your own too. Patty, that's great. Thank you. So the buds of the linden are eaten as famine food, and the bark added to soups. You pound it and add it to soup. So, because there have been famines before. We're not, if we run low or out of food, it's not the first time in human history, that's for sure. We just have to learn from the past and figure out what we can do. And then we have magnolia. Magnolia bark helps you sleep. So any of you in the South, the deep South, especially with magnolias, you can take the bark. You can take the bark and dry it and then ground it up. You add the powder to gel caps to make it easier to take if you want to capsulate it yourself. You take a couple of those a day. However, many people prefer to simply make some tea with the bark. You should always harvest your own to avoid contamination. And then, dry it and then keep a jar of just, bark pieces. And then you can just take that bark, add it to hot water when you want to do your tea. So, could do a series on famine food. That is true. That might actually be very, very good to do. So, all right. I'm making a note of that. Series on Famine food. And so you had a magnolia, but it died. We were right at the edge of the range and a cold winter killed it. Okay. Yeah, they don't like the cold that much. When I lived in Louisiana, we had a magnolia tree, so they're beautiful. And the leaves are gorgeous, and the flowers are just, they smell so wonderful. But yeah, they would not make it up here at all. So that is Magnolia. I have one more M, and that's the maple tree, our favorite tree for the fall. Hey, Barefoot Adventure, hello. Welcome. Oh, that's so great that they grow in Portland. Wonderful. It is a beautiful flower. It really is. So again, maple trees that are, and everybody knows a maple. They're large trees with deeply lobed, toothed leaves. The bark of the younger tree is gray and smooth. On older trees, it breaks into ridges and fissures and everything. Maples have winged seeds that hang in clusters of two. So those are the helicopter seeds, right, Matt and Sarah? Oh, the helicopter seeds. Yes, those are they call them a winged seed. The Ojibwe and the Cherokee made a decoration of the inner bark or the red maple, the inner bark of the red maple to use as a wash for sore eyes. So not only can we get syrup from maple trees, but they're good for other things. So the inner bark decoration. You know what? Whoever wrote this did not. I just copy and pasted, but it's a decoction, not a decoration. Okay, decoction. The inner bark. I'm making a note here right now. So, oh, we love your holly tree. I call her Mrs. Holly. Oh, so sweet. Dave, you just, yeah. I'm so glad that you have that, It really is. It's great. Patty, no, those are great ideas. Absolutely. So decoction of the inner bark of the red maple to use as a wash for sore eyes. So toss your whatever eye drops you have and it's, you use your maple tree. The leaves of striped maple were used to poultice for chests and stuff like that. Then you can use the inner bark of the sugar maple for diarrhea. So that's good. Native Americans use the stripe maple bark in poultices for swollen limbs, as a tea for kidney infections, coughs, colds, bronchitis. Young maple leaves. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a young tree, but the young leaves. So spring leaves can be made into massage oil that will be soothing to sore muscles. So as you're doing all that work in the spring, after sitting around all winter, doing all that work in the spring, and your muscles are so sore, just go to the maple tree, get a few leaves, and then make, put it into an oil and just rub it on yourself. That'll help soothe your muscles, right? Oh, your tree's all red maple, interestingly. Okay, there you go for your eyes. I don't know if I've seen a striped maple. I've seen silver maple, sugar maple, the red maple. There's another maple that's super, super tall and big. But I don't know if I've seen a striped maple. That would be interesting. And the wing seeds are edible in emergency situation, not tasty, but edible. Oh, good. And would it be just like for food, Teresa, or would it be would that end up being some sort of medicinal benefit, or like what is the nutritional value, if any, or is it just for some bulk in there, as opposed to eating like grubs or something? I'd rather eat the seeds. Hey, Christina, hello, welcome to you. It's soup season finally. I know, it's so great. So we will be praying for Cody. Dave, thanks so much for giving us an update on him. He's a young man. I think you say he's like 24 years old or something, and he's got cancer. So this is better than grubs. Nutritional, and yes, probably medicinal too. Okay. Ooh, you could make a maple seed soup. I wonder how that would taste. I think I would rather take them and dry them, mush them up, dry them, fry them, or something, rather than and make like a, I don't know what you could mix it with. But anyway, that's good to know. That's good to know. That's a famine food, right? So maple seeds. I'm going to make a note there. That's famine food. All right. My garden tip for tonight is to prep all of your beds for winter so they require very little work in the spring. Try to get that done. I know that's like sometimes so hard because you're weary. You've gone through all this stuff. You just want winter to come. But if you can get those already, that just saves so much work in the spring as things are, it's raining, stuff is starting to grow, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, something flipped in here. That's the striped bark maple. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Patty. His mid to late 20s, a leukemia. Okay, will do. Thanks so much for that update. Appreciate it. Yes, and I don't have them right on me here, but again, get a really good book on identifying trees if you can, because especially if it's in the winter and there aren't leaves to be able to help you to identify. So you can identify the tree by its bark, how it grows, different things like that. And so that if you are in need of that, you can certainly do that. All right, you guys, I have, we made it through the M's. We're halfway through the alphabet. I think there's more trees in the first half of the alphabet. But anyway, we'll pick that up again another time and keep talking about that. I want to thank you guys so much, all my moderators, all of you in blue. Thank you for all of your help and having my back and everything. And it's been nice that it hasn't been really chaotic on here. So, Dave, if you happen to talk to him or send him a note, tell him that we're all praying for him. Really appreciate that. Thank you guys. Thanks so much. Take care. God bless. Always have hope. And you guys have a great week. And stay healthy and stay warm. Talk to you later. Good night.